Yeah.
What's a fecal implant?
Yeah, so poop pills are going to be the next wave of restoring the immune system
It's
because
going to be great for your breath.
they're double encapsulated, so it won't affect your breath. It shouldn't. But basically, fecal microbial transplants were initially done through colonoscopy. So they had to go through your bum basically to put in new bacteria. But the problem obviously is like, who wants to do that for every like anti-aging longevity? Because it's an invasive procedure.
Yeah.
So there's a guy named Dr. Thomas Brody. He's like the OG godfather of like gastroenterology. He's from Australia. And he started doing FMT by capsules. He figured out a method to encapsulate them so you can circumvent the problem of doing them through colonoscopy. So he's done over 12,000 cases over the last 10 years, but it's super inaccessible. Like if you want to get that in the US, as the US often does, they regulate it like a drug. And so you can't just go and get it. And even if you want it, even if you have inflammatory bowel disease, they won't let you, they make it very challenging. Like I've had patients who've had to take poop from their own parents and put it up their enema on their own so they could treat their IBD. And it actually treated it.
Okay.
But the fact that they had to resort to that was just so like heartbreaking for me to hear. And I was like, what the heck? Like, how can you not want to help these people? So then that's why I looked into like, how can we help these people? Because so many of people with gut issues, plus the gut is the root of like immune dysfunction, which is the root of so many chronic diseases like chronic inflammation. So the FMT, the fecal microbial transplant, basically helps to repopulate the gut bacteria, which play such a big role in aging and chronic disease because of the metabolites they produce. Like there's a study that just came out like this week showing that the metabolites that those gut bacteria produce can even be responsible for like liver cancer. So they made a new treatment where they're targeting specifically the microbes using like microRNA to prevent those metabolites so you can treat liver cancer. It has been done in mice. But the point is a lot of disease comes back to the gut.
Yeah.
So some people can get like a treatment for irritable bowel and things like that through this.
Just exactly. You just pills for 4 to 6 months. It's like super duper probiotics. Because problem with probiotics, a lot, like some of them work, some of them don't. And a lot of them don't actually stay. Like if you do studies, like a lot of those bacteria don't actually end up staying in the gut afterwards. Yeah. So it's like, what did you actually achieve? You took them for a bit. Maybe they stayed there transitorily or like just for a temporary amount of time. So whereas with the FMT, they're actually going to do what like have a long-term benefit. So I think it's going to be a huge, like it's going to help a lot of people. And like, I mean, I'm first on the list for that. So I want it for myself. And then just because it's like, I've had IBS issues and I feel like a lot of people have it because of the food supply, the supply chain, right? And like all the processed foods we eat and stuff like that. And growing up, we get exposed to so many toxins and pesticides and everything like that. So I think it's just providing accessibility for people who want to get FMT through our manufacturing process.
And is it your own fecal matter that's used for this? Or
No, we get a super donor. So
a super donor? Like someone just sitting a lot?
Literally.
There's just one Godfather.
Did you ever see that South Park episode with Tom Brady's poop?
I haven't.
What?
Oh, you gotta YouTube that. You're gonna have to YouTube that. So Tom Brady's poop is apparently the best poop in the world, according to South Park. It's a hilarious episode.
Okay.
But the principle is actually pretty accurate, which is that if you want to take someone else's poop into your body, you want the healthiest poop. And Tom Brady's is probably pretty healthy. But
sure.
we find donors. We have our own selection process for finding donors, but we only use one donor who has like the best poop. Essentially,
There's
criteria for. I know there's criteria for that.
Combing through it. Like, nah, too much corn in here.
Yeah, literally. No, but I have a human microbiome. She's a PhD in this, and her job is literally she has a proprietary method on how she selects the donors. Because she looks at the ratios of the different bacterias, she looks at the health of the person, and she has a method to make sure that whatever FMT product we're using is going to be the best for as many people as possible. And this is just generation one. You can, over time, we're going to make FMT products for different conditions. Because we know, like, for example, even Parkinson's disease, there's a paper that came out showing that it was linked to a gut bacteria issue. So again, like, there's so many chronic neurodegenerative conditions, too, that are coming back to the gut.